everyone, happy Monday. Thanks for joining me for today's strength training session. So for today's class, prop-wise, we will be using a med ball, and that is simply it. If you do not have a med ball, I would suggest using hand weights, anywhere from 3 to 5 pounders. Most of the moves, it's going to be pretty self-explanatory as to how to use those weights rather than the med ball. However, we will be using the med ball also underneath the feet. So we'll be taking an elevated glute bridge where the feet are in the center here. So if you do not have that med ball, an option would be to use perhaps a couch or a sturdy chair, place those heels on that elevated surface, push through the heels so we're getting that incline glute bridge. Another option could be to actually take the shoulders here to the edge, drop the hips, squeeze through the seat. And that will actually increase the amount of hamstring contraction you're getting as well, similar to what we're going to be doing on that rollout. So a couple different options for you to choose from there. We will be using the med ball for some push-ups today. So one hand is going to be on the center of that med ball taking push-ups. So option for that to modify could be using a disc should you have it. If you don't have a disc, you could use a pillow, maybe even a nice thick encyclopedia to place that palm in, something that's nice and sturdy that you can push through, or just take regular push-ups. That's cool too. So that's what you should keep in mind as you set yourself up. Props can go ahead and stay in that upper right-hand corner. If I haven't mentioned, you will want a mat just for some of our core seat work. Trying to think what else. Yeah, that's mainly it. So let's go ahead and get that playlist pulled up if you haven't already and get that body warmed up. So let's push play here in 5, 4, 3, 2. Push play. And let's stand it up in the center of that mat, get that body warmed up. We're going to start off today with those feet directly underneath those hips. Big inhale up, arms come up to the sky. Exhale, breathe it out. One more big inhale. And exhale, breathe it out. Starting off with some shoulder rolls, just drawing those shoulders up and around. Starting to loosen up those shoulders because there is a lot of chest and shoulder work today. Last one here, let's go ahead and reverse it. Bringing those shoulders up towards the ears, but releasing the tension back between those shoulder blades. Last one here, go ahead and take those hands to those hips. Let's add that march. It's march, in march, march, in march. Drive those knees up nice and high for me. Start warming up that lower body. Point through those toes. As you know, I'm Nicole. I'm going to lead you through your strength training session today. We are doing circuits. We will be using that med ball, as I mentioned, but you are welcome to substitute those hand weights if that feels better to you or if you simply don't have it. All right, let's take it into that cross march here. In 5, 4, 3, 2, let's take that cross. It's cross, in cross, cross, in cross. Trying to get that knee towards the opposite corner of the hip here. So we really start warming up the hips, the obliques, getting that body prepped for all that goodness that we're gonna start off with today. Hitting all of those major muscle groups, that upper body, we're going to blaze out with that med ball. Doing a lot of push-ups today, as I mentioned before. Got a lot of squat work to get those legs revved up. And yes, have some plank and core work for you as well. All right, let's take it to that stand in 5, 4, 3, 2, take it into that stand. We're gonna take those feet out nice and wide, toes facing forward. Arms come along, let's take that seat kick here. It's kick, in kick, kick, in kick. Priming those quads and hamstrings, pulling those elbows back nice and wide to start warming up that chest as well. 10 more seconds here, we'll hold it wide. 10, 9, 8, let's hold it wide. In 5, 4, 3, 2, hold this last one wide. We're gonna take it to that squat. It's squat, in stand, squat, in stand, squat, in stand. Yeah, strength is all about that technique. So make sure we're really paying attention to that form. Weight is in that heel. Getting that seat nice and low back behind yourself. Keeping that chest nice and lifted. 10 more seconds here. We'll hold it low. In 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it low. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold this last one low. Taking it right into our tiger crawl. So make sure those knees are wide enough so you can drop your seat in between those knees. Walk it out into that plank. Wrist plant directly underneath those shoulders. Hold it for just a moment before you walk it right back in. Now, important in our tiger crawl, we don't pike those hips up too much. We want to keep that seat low so that we're really warming up through the abdominals, walking it into that nice long plank. Way to push it. We'll hold that plank right here. In 10, 9, 8, hold that plank. In 5, 4, 3, 2, hold that plank. Step those toes in here and hold it for 10, 9, 8. We'll drop those knees in 5, 4, 3, 2. Drop down to those knees. Come into your tabletop. Swing those feet around to come into our glute bridges here. Big inhale up. Make sure those heels are walked in towards your seat. Let's roll it down for 4, 3, 2. Letting those shoulders come all the way flat against that mat. Elbows or those palms can come into the mat beside you. Let's take those glute bridges here. It's lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. Taking this at a pace that is not going to blaze it out just yet. So we're pressing through the heels. As you know, we have more glute bridges to go in our circuits today. So we just want to warm up that backside here, pressing through those heels, getting that seat nice and lifted, keeping the weight right across the tops of the shoulders. Take it to that iso hold, so knee high in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it high in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold this last one high. Hold that squeeze right here for 10, 9, 8. We'll lower those hips in 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower those hips down for me. Draw those knees right into tabletop. Take your palms. We're going to press into those thighs while we draw in with those knees. Feeling that contraction in between that core for 10, 9, 8. Keep it here for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Crisscross those ankles for me. Release those palms. Go ahead and rock it up and carefully take yourself up into a stand. So maybe you want to place those palms just beside you here. Take a nice little forward fold stretch. Roll it up nice and slow for me before we get right into that first circuit. So let's go ahead and start with that first circuit. Bend your knees. Go ahead and grab that med ball or your weights. Take it up to a stand. Feet start off underneath your hips. Front rack that med ball or the weights to the chest, keeping those elbows nice and lifted. Starting off with that right foot, stepping all the way back nice and long. Drop that knee down to your mat. Sweep your left around. Right foot comes forward. Take it up that stand. Now start it off on that left. Left foot steps back. Drop down to that knee. Sweep that right around. Left comes forward. Take it up to that stand. So taking our time here because we want to make sure that we're keeping that nice, beautiful 90-degree form going. So in order to do that, you're going to have to make sure you're stepping that front leg back long enough for that knee to drop down to that 90-degree position. Sweep that left around. That front leg comes back forward. Take it up that stand. Alternating from side to side as we go along the way. Keeping that nice high front rack position so elbows are staying nice and lifted. Only about 10 more seconds. Here we'll hold it low in 10, 9, 8. Meet me kneeling in 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and meet me in that kneel. Sweep both knees underneath the hips here. Make sure knees are in line with those shoulders. Keep that front rack position just with that med ball. Palms facing in, elbows nice and lifted. Take your seat down towards your heels. Squeeze to stand up. Give me that overhead press. Front rack it. Lower it down to that hover. Squeeze to stand it up. Give me that press. So heels are staying nice and tucked here just so you have a little bit more stability. Drop your seat right down to those heels, but hover them. Don't let them sit on there. Just want to hover so you get that quad engagement. Squeeze through your seat to take it up nice and tall. Core is engaged as well. Find that overhead press. Pressing that med ball or those weights right in line with those shoulders. 10 more seconds. Here we hold it low in 10, 9, 8. Hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and drop that seat. Take your med ball down to the mat if you have it. If you don't, that's where we're going to use that elevated position, should you have it, rather than that med ball to take that glute bridge on. We're going to sweep those feet just outside the med ball. Make sure the handles are to each side as we get set up here. Big inhale up. Go ahead and roll it down for 4, 3, 2. Shoulders come all the way down. Take those feet right to the center of that med ball. We're going to take those elbows right into that mat. Squeeze to stand it up. Once we're there, we're going to walk it out about 2 paces. Walk it right back under. Lower it down. Squeeze it high. Walk it out. Walk it back in. Ooh, that is going to fry out the back of those hamstrings pretty quickly. So no need to take it out like 5 paces. In fact, that's probably not the position you want to go for at all, because that's going to strain yourself here. So just take 2 little paces forward, inching it forward with those arches of your feet. Draw it right back underneath the seat before we drop it back into that glute bridge. Now, if you're using this to take the elevated position, just make sure you're pressing through those heels, driving your seat up nice and high, feeling that nice seat squeeze here. Way to push it. 10 more seconds here. We'll hold it low in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and lower it down. And we're going to send this right into our sit-up. So go ahead and rock it up. Grab that med ball or the weights right into the center of the chest. Big inhale. Go ahead and roll it down for 4, 3, 2. Use that med ball. Take it right to the center of the chest. Elbows can come nice and wide. Make sure we walk those heels in here. Take it up into that sit-up. We're going to take a Russian twist, twist. Take it back down to that mat nice and slow. Full sit-up. Sit it up, twist, twist, right back down to that mat. So if you need to lose the weights here, perfectly okay. We just want to make sure we're getting that full core engagement and that we're really finding that nice sharp exhale at that middle sticking point, right about there. You're going to have to find that strong exhale to get yourself all the way up. Take one twist, so we get that oblique engagement. Way to push it. 10 more seconds here. We'll hold it low in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and hold this last one low. Set that med ball down to the side. We're going to take it into a plank position. So if you do have a med ball, you can go ahead and use our med ball to balance on. If not, just simply take it down on that mat. But if you are using that med ball, take those hands, thumbs are coming together, fingers are going to lace through those handles. Take that plank back all the way nice and long, so you have a nice diagonal to start it. It's step, and step, step, and step. So just stepping those feet out nice and wide, bracing through our core here. Notice we want that nice long angle. We don't want that seat up while we're tapping. We're going to keep it nice and low, so you get that full lower core engagement as we tap it out side to side. Again, if you need to, just take it down to that mat. If you don't want to take that incline, sometimes that can tweak the wrist a little bit. So simply take it down to the mat if you need to. Regardless, we only have about 15 more seconds. And we're going to take it back to the top in 10, 9, 8. Hold it high in 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and hold it center. Walk those feet in. And we're coming back to those surrender lunges. Set 2 this time around. So bend your knees, grab that med ball once more. Front rack it to the center of the chest, keep those elbows nice and lifted. Back to those surrender lunges. So right leg steps all the way back, drop down to that knee, sweep that left around, right pops forward, bring it to that stand. This time that left comes back, right sweeps around, take it up to that stand. Now one option, if this does not feel particularly good for the knees coming all the way down, you can simply just take alternating reverse lunges. Another option could be, as you lunge it back, you take a pass through with that med ball underneath that front leg. Whichever way you're doing it, just tune in with that posture. Check and see, are your knees right at 90 degrees here? Do we have those beautiful right angles? We should. Only about 10 more seconds here. We'll hold it low in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and hold it low in that kneel. Keep that front rack position. Make sure those knees come out just slightly wider so that they're in line with those shoulders. Tuck those toes for me. Let's sink it all the way down. Squeeze it up to that stand. Give me that press. Re-rack it. Lower it down. Squeeze through your seat. Exhale, press. Re-rack it. Keeping that nice tall position here, even as we sink it down. We're not hinging forward. We're keeping it nice and high. Drop it down to that hover. Squeeze through the seat. Feel that core engage as you take it tall. And core is remaining nice and engaged as we take that overhead press. Anytime we're pressing anything over the body, you want to think about a corset tight around that belly. So that really prevents any back strain. Way to push it. 10 more seconds here. We hold it low in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and drop that med ball down. We're coming back to your version of the elevated glute bridge. So if you're using that med ball, take it out in front of you. Make sure those handles are off to the sides here. Big inhale up, roll it down for 4, 3, 2, shoulders come down. Take those feet right to the center here. Back to that glute bridge. So lift it up nice and high, walk it out just about 2 paces, walk it right back in, lower it down, lift, walk it out just slightly, right back under, lower it down. Taking our time here. So if it takes you a little bit longer, just add that little extension here. Go ahead and use that time. That's what it's there for. It's not for you to rush through and kind of get sloppy form. Not the meaning of this. Really want to just take our time, squeeze that seat nice and high, get that little walk out. Feel it in the back of your hamstrings. Drop back in. If you're feeling like that cramping sensation going on and it's too much, just simply take that walk out off and just keep that glute bridge rolling. 10 more seconds here. We'll hold it low in 10, 9, 8, hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one here. Go ahead and lower those hips down. Rock it on up. Take it right back into that sit up. So bring your weights or your med ball to the chest. Roll it down for 4, 3, 2. Let's take that sit up. Elbows come nice and wide. Find that sit up. Give me a twist. Give me a twist. Right back down nice and slow. Rock it on up to that full sit up. Twist it, right back down. Again, if you feel like you don't need that weight and you just want to rock out those sit-ups, perfectly okay. Do what feels best for you. If you're feeling those hip flexors kind of tweak out at all as you're taking it up and down, then I would suggest going ahead and ditching that med ball. And make sure you're really pressing into those heels as you rock it up. Awesome work. 10 more seconds here. We'll hold it low in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and hold it nice and low. Crisscross those ankles. Take that med ball forward. Take it back into our plank here. Hands can either come directly down onto that mat, or if you have that med ball, place it in the center, thumbs together, fingers lacing through those handles. Step it back nice and long. Let's step it out. It's step, come center, step, come center. If you want to step it out a little quicker, perfectly great. Way to push yourself. If you need to slow this down a little bit because you're really trying to stabilize through that core, that works too. Most importantly, yes, all about technique, all about that position. So we want that wrist directly underneath the shoulder here as we maintain that plank. And we're stepping it out left and right, finding that length here from the crown of the head all the way down through those heels. Way to push it. 10 more seconds. Here we go into that third round. In 10, 9, 8, hold it center. In 5, 4, 3, 2, hold this last one center. Drop it back down to those knees and back to our surrender lunges. Last time around. So go ahead and start off in that stand, feet directly underneath those hips. Take into that front rack, or if it feels better to you, have those elbows nice and wide. Regardless, we're gonna step that right foot all the way back long. Take that knee down to the mat. Sweep it around, step it back forward, bring it up to that stand. This time, left foot comes down, sweep that front, step it up, bring it to that stand. Taking your time, pacing yourself, but this is that last round. So really hone in on that tall posture here. Sometimes as we fatigue and those legs start to fatigue, we let our form get sloppy. But we're actually going for better form with each and every round. So keep that in mind as you fire through this last round with these surrender lunges. Knees in 90 degrees, keeping that core nice and tight. 10 more seconds. Here we'll hold it low in 10, 9, 8. Hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Meet me in that kneel. Bring those knees out just slightly wider underneath those shoulders. Keeping that front rack position, tucking through those toes. Like it's take it down to that hover, squeeze, find that press, return it. Lower it down, squeeze, give me that press, return it. Blazing out the tops of the quads here. And if you feel like you don't need to tuck those toes and you want to burn out those quads even more, take those laces flat back behind you. That's gonna let you deepen how low you can get in that hover. We only have about 15 more seconds here though. We're gonna take it back to those hip lifts. So meet me low in 10, 9, 8, hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2, hold this last one low, set that med ball down. Let's go ahead and take it to that glute bridge. One more time around before we come into circuit 2. Feet come back into the center of that med ball, but we're gonna first start off nice and high, roll it down for 4, 3, 2, then walk those feet in. Confirming the arches are in the center of that med ball. Elbows down beside you here. Lift that seat up nice and high. Walk those feet up for me. Walk it back in. Squeeze it high. Lower it down. Walk it out. Walk it back in. Lift it up. Lower it down. Walk it out. Walk it back in. If you want to deepen that contraction here, you can actually keep it in that bridge while you walk it out. That is going to blaze out the back of those hamstrings in this final round. Way to push it almost to those sit-ups in 10, 9, 8, hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2, drop those hips for me. Take those feet just outside that med ball, rock it on up, grab that med ball, sit up nice and tall. Let's take it down, all the way down to that mat. Let's take that sit up. Exhale, sit it up, cross it, right into those Russian twists. Take it down nice and low. Find that sharp exhale. Twist it. Getting that full rotation, either with those weights or the med ball, kind of dropping it into that pocket, feeling those obliques twist out before you take it nice and low. Only about 15 more seconds here. We take it back to that plank in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. You can hold it low, or at seated is cool too. We're coming back to that plank, however. So go ahead and bring that med ball in front of you if you're using it, or if you prefer, take those hands just in line with the shoulders here and take it down on that mat. Thumbs are coming together, come into that inclined position with that med ball if you're using it. Let's take those taps. It's tap and tap, tap and tap. Do you have that nice long line? You should. Keep that core nice and tight. Press back through those heels. Tap it out for me. Think about that corset pulled even tighter around that belly, especially as we step it out, just so we're not swaying through those hips at all. Only about 10 more seconds here. It's into circuit number 2 in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and drop down to those knees, and let's take this straight into circuit number 2. You can actually keep it in a kneel here as we take it into our hinged lunge narrow row. So right foot is going to stay back all the way long, so most of the weight is in that front left leg. Grab your med ball or your weight. Arm's gonna stay nice and long. Palm is in. Take that left hand just to the top of that left knee. Let's take that row. It's row it up and lower, row it up and lower, row it up and lower, row it up and lower. So that thumb is coming up towards the armpit. That elbow, as you can see, is coming up into that 90-degree position as we draw it up. Core is remaining tight in that hinge position. We have about that 45-degree angle going here. As we row it up, only about 15 more seconds here. We're gonna set that med ball down and take it into those push-ups. So hold it low in 10, 9, 8, let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it low. Set that med ball down, come down onto your mat, and we're gonna take our elevated push-ups here. It's gonna start off on that right side. So you want that center of your palm to go right in the center of that med ball. So handles can either be top and bottom or side to side, but you want to have a nice flat surface to plant that palm right in the center here. Left hand is coming just outside that shoulder. We take it into our push-up posture. Let's take those push-ups here. It's lower, in push, lower, in push. Getting that chest nice and low as you can get it. You need to take this down on the knees because we do have several rounds of this. Go ahead and do it. Whatever feels good to those shoulders, keep that in mind as you set yourself up here. If it feels better for you down on that mat, perfectly all right as well. But there's only about 10 more seconds here. We'll hold it low in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Drop down to those knees. We're coming into our kneel. We're going to take that med ball or the weights. So those palms are facing in. Tuck through those toes if you need to. Keep that core engaged. We're going to start it off just on one of those shoulders. Exhale, we're going to press it up through center. Give me a tricep extension right through center. Drop it to that right shoulder. Exhale, press it center. Lower it down. Exhale, press. So if we are using those weights, you will want to hold it on both ends here. Press it up through center so you can get that tricep extension through the center. Drop it off to that right. Core stay nice and tall here. Keeping it nice and tight. Keeping those shoulders right line with those hips that whole time. Only about 15 more seconds here. We'll hold it through the center in 10, 9, 8, hold it tall in 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it nice and tall, taking it to that push-up on that left side. So med ball is coming to that left palm here, or take it down to that mat. Take those wrists just outside the shoulders, step it back nice and long. We're gonna lower it down, exhale, push, lower it down, exhale, push. Elbows coming out to 45 degrees here. Exhale, push it nice and long. Core is nice and tight. Even your quads are engaged as we rock out these push-ups. We need to take it on that kneel. Make sure we have that nice long line here. Crown of the head down through those knees as we push through the earth here. Squeezing through your seat. Core is engaged. 10 more seconds here. It's 10, 9, 8. Hold it high in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it high. Drop those knees. And we're going to come into that hinged row on that opposite side. So right foot can step forward. Go ahead and grab that handle or your weight here and come into your lunge position. So most of the weight's in that right front leg. Arms nice and long, left leg pushed back all the way behind you. Let's take that row right here. We row it up and lower, row it up and lower, row it up and lower, row it up and lower. Hiking that med ball or that weight right into your rib cage, feeling those lats working, feeling your tricep working, so you draw it up into that 90-degree angle. Taking your time here, pacing yourself, knowing we have 2 more rounds of all these moves. 10 more seconds here, we'll hold it low in 10, 9, 8, let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2, hold this last one low. Squeeze it, stand it up, and we're just gonna simply switch it out. Come into round 2 here of that circuit. So we're in our stand, right leg comes nice and long, taking that med ball into the right hand here. Most weight's coming into that front left leg. Make sure that right foot is all the way nice and long here. Let's take that row once more. We row it up and lower, row it up and lower, row it up and lower, row it up and lower. Bringing that med ball or that weight right up into that armpit, keeping that nice elbow draw back going as we row it on out. Core remaining engaged. Most of that weight is in that front quad here. So we rock out these rows. Remembering how strong we are. 10 more seconds here. We hold it low in 10, 9, 8. We'll find those push-ups in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it low. Set that med ball down. Let's take it down to that mat. Get into those push-ups with that med ball remaining on that right side. So plant those palms just outside the shoulders. Take it all the way back nice and long. So we're in our plank position. Let's take those push-ups here. It's lower and push. Lower and push, lower and push, lower and push. If you need to adjust those wrists just slightly, make sure we're just giving ourselves enough width here to get those elbows back at 45 degrees. If we're in too close, makes it more difficult and it actually makes you take some of that tension into the shoulders. So make sure those shoulders are staying nice and relaxed. 10 more seconds here. It's 10, 9, 8, hold it high, and 5, 4, 3, 2, drop those knees down. Come into that tall kneel position, coming back to that circle press. So tuck those toes if you need to. Bring that med ball or that weight to one shoulder. Exhale, press it through center. Give me that tricep extension. Drop it to that right. Back through center. Tricep extension. Off to the left. Taking this slow and controlled here, so you're feeling the tops of the shoulders working as we come into those arched positions. Elbows just outside the ears here as we drop it low to the nape of the neck. Exhale, find that huge extension and contraction through the back of those triceps here. Elbows nice in parallel to those shoulders. Way to push it. 10 more seconds. Here we hold it tall in 10, 9, 8. Hold it here in 5, 4, 3, 2. Let's go ahead and take it to the med ball push-up on that left side. So take that med ball underneath that left palm once again. Set up those wrists just outside the shoulders. Take it into your kneel or full push-up posture. Pressing back through your heels. Let's take those push-ups here. It's lower and push, lower and push. If you are using the elevated position, You are obviously not gonna be able to drop it quite as low as you normally could. That chest is not gonna be able to get all the way to that mat. That's okay. Take it nice and low, elbows remaining nice and wide. 10 more seconds. Here we hold it high in 10, 9, 8, let's hold it high in 5, 4, 3, 2, drop those knees down. Take it into that hinge row on that left side. So step that right foot forward, keep that left leg nice and long. Most of the weight's coming in that right front quad here. Arms coming long on that left side, palms facing in. Let's take that row. We row it up and lower, row it up and lower, row it up and lower, row it up and lower. Drawing that wrist all the way up towards that armpit still. Elbow coming into that 90-degree posture. Keeping that nice long line here. 45-degree angle with that body. A nice long hinge as we rock out these rows. Way to push it, ladies. 10 more seconds here. We hold it low in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold this last one low. Squeeze it, stand it up. Let's switch it out to that right side. One more time around. So right foot's gonna come back long. Med ball or weights coming into that right side. Hinge it forward. Getting ready for that row. Relax through your shoulders. Let's row it. We row it up and lower, row it up and lower, row it up and lower, row it up and lower. Thinking about how we can fine tune our form here in this final round. So check in with that posture. Is that leg long enough so you're in that great diagonal here? And most of that weight is in that front leg. If you don't have it there, go ahead and correct it. And make sure we have the best technique possible in this final round. 10 more seconds. Here we hold it low in 10, 9, 8. We hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold this last one low. Set that med ball down. Come down to those knees. Taking push-ups once more. Holy push-up, am I right? That chest is going to be fried. Walk those wrists out here. Step it back nice and long or come to that kneel. It's lower and push, lower and push, lower and push. Really keeping long form, wrists just outside those shoulders, core is remaining tight, finding that exhale to push yourself nice and long. Entire body is contracted as we push through the earth. That's actually going to make that push-up feel even lighter. Nice work, 10 more seconds here. We hold it high in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it high in 5, 4, 3, 2. Drop down to those knees. Come back to that kneel. Take that weight or med ball. Bring it to one of those shoulders. Keep your core nice and tight. Exhale, press it through center. Give me that tricep extension. Drop it to that right shoulder. Back through center. Exhale, press it long. Drop it to that left. Blazing out those shoulders. Hitting all those major muscle groups like I mentioned in the beginning. And that is how you rev up that metabolism rate. Getting all those muscle groups firing and taking multiple rounds of them is going to push those muscles in ways they haven't been pushed before necessarily in bar. Less about burn here and definitely just more about finding that strength and power through these moves. 10 more seconds here. It's 10, 9, 8. Meet me tall in 5, 4, 3, 2. Go ahead and hold through center. Take it down to that left side. Let's take those left side push-ups one more time. Palm right in the center of that med ball. Make sure wrists are just outside those shoulders. Step it back nice and long. It's lower and push, lower and push, lower and push, lower and push. Final round of push-ups. So keep pushing. I know you're probably sick of push-ups by now, but this is how you make yourself stronger, is by challenging yourself. So let it come nice and wide. Exhale, press it long. Keep that body nice and tight for me. 10 more seconds here. It's 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it high in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it nice and high for me. Drop down to those knees. Grab that med ball. Step that right foot forward. Come into your hinged lunge posture. Most weight in that right front leg. Let's take that row. We row it up and lower. 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 Drawing that med ball all the way towards that rib cage. Arm is staying nice and long, palm facing in. Frying out that front quad. You should barely be touching those left toes here. So if you're putting a lot of weight on that left side, take it out. Make sure we're getting into that right quad as we rock out those rows. Only about 10 more seconds. Here we hold it low in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold this last one low. Let's take it up to our stand. Feet are coming up underneath those hips, and we are firing right into circuit number 3. So let's go ahead and finish strong here. Feet underneath those hips. Take that med ball in the center of the chest, elbows nice and wide, or take those hand weights. We're gonna take corner presses with the chest press. So we're gonna press it to that left corner, draw it in, press it center, press it right, press it center, press it left, press it center, press it right. Hitting those ankles is really gonna challenge those deltoids here as we fire it off to these angles, especially that opposite one as we push it off. Keep that core nice and tight as we're drawing and pushing that med ball away from us here. Exhale, press it nice and long. Core is remaining tight, confirming you have that active stance going. Soft into those knees. 10 more seconds. Here we hold it center in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it center in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold this last one center. Take this right into our squat thrusters. So front rack that med ball. So elbows are underneath, palms facing in. Take those feet up nice and wide. So you're in your squatting stance, toes facing forward. Driving this right into our squat thruster. So we drop it all the way low. Exhale, med ball comes overhead. Drop it low, exhale, press it high. Drop it low, exhale, press it high. We're using those weights. Weights are simply to those shoulders, elbows nice and high. And you want to find so much power here as you drop it low and stand it up, that if you were to let go of that med ball, it's going to shoot right through that ceiling. Because there's so much power in those quads and hamstrings as we squat it out. Awesome work. 10 more seconds. Here we hold it low in 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold this last one low. Toes come out even wider to come into our plie position. Knees tracking out in that same direction. Arms come all the way long, palms facing in with those weights or that med ball. Taking it into our plie squat with our front raise. So we drop it nice and low, squeeze to stand it up. Front raise it, lower it back down. Drop it low, squeeze to stand it up. Take that raise, lower it back down. Really pacing ourselves here, because in that plie position, once again, I said it before, I'll say it again, want to make sure those knees are coming into 90 degrees as we drop that seat nice and low. Squeeze those booty cheeks all the way together. If you're doing this properly, you should even feel it, that squeeze all the way at the top of your booty cheeks here, because you're in that plie position. So drop it low, squeeze it all the way together, then give me that front raise as that core remains tight. 10 more seconds here. It's 10, 9, 8, hold it wide in 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it nice and wide here. Taking this into a frog or burpee. So toes are gonna face back forward. We're gonna hinge that body. Arms come nice and long with those weights or that med ball. We're rowing it into our belly button. Lower those weights or that med ball down. Hands plant outside that med ball. Option to either step it or jump it back to that plank and step it, jump it back wide. So row it, lower, plant those palms, plank it back, plank it forward, row it up, lower, plant those hands, jump it back, jump it wide. Again, option to step it here, because this is not boot camp. No, it's strength training. So we don't need to fire that heart rate too high. However, if you want to get that heart rate and breath rate even more on that incline, go ahead, take that jump. Way to push those limits. As we rock it out, 10 more seconds here, we'll hold it wide in 10, 9, 8, let's hold it wide in 5, 4, 3, 2, go ahead and hold it wide here. Grab that med ball with both handles, squeeze to stand it up, heel toe those feet directly underneath the hips, coming back to that corner press. So bring that med ball right into the center of the chest, elbows nice and wide, press it to that corner, draw it in, press through center, press it to that opposite corner, press it long, draw it in, press it long, draw it in. Frying out those shoulders, not letting yourself sway here as that med ball goes away from the body. Keeping that belly nice and tight, thinking about the muscles you really want to work here. So it's all about the shoulder strength. So make sure we're hitting those angles right at those diagonals. Exhale, press it long, right through center. Take it to that opposite corner. Only about 20 more seconds here. It's back to those squat thrusters. So keep on pressing. hold it center here in 10, 9, 8, hold it front in 5, 4, 3, 2, hold that last one center. Take it into your front rack position. Walk those toes out for me. So we're coming into our squatting stance, toes facing forward. Let's take it nice and low. Exhale, thrust up, re-rack it. Lower it down, thrust it up, re-rack it. Lower it down, thrust it up, re-rack it. If you're feeling feisty here, you could even consider letting go of that med ball, catching it, but make sure it's coming to the chest here and you're able to catch it softly here. No need to fire that med ball up and end up hurting yourself, not what we're going for here. But if you want the extra burnout, especially as you throw it up and catch it back, go ahead and go for it. But way to push it, only about 15 more seconds here. We'll hold it low in 10, 9, 8, let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2, hold this last one low. Coming into our plies once more. So take those toes out nice and wide, knees tracking in that same direction. Arms come all the way long, palms facing in. Let's take that squat. It's squat, stand, raise, and lower. Squat, stand, raise, and lower. Again, if you feel like you need to slow this down a little bit because those legs are already smoked, this is your workout. That's the beauty of strength training. You get to modify the pace. You get to push yourself in the ways that works best for your body. When we're dropping down, make sure those toes are staying nice and wide, knees tracking in that same direction, creating those 90 degrees. Once more, give me that front raise. 10 more seconds here. We hold it high in 10, 9, 8, let's hold it high in 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it here. Take those toes forward, come into that hinge, taking it back into that frog or burpee. So we roll it up, lower it down, plant those hands if you want to, or keep them on that med ball if you prefer. Drop back in, drop it back down, step it back forward. Whatever feels better for you between that stepping or that jumping, just use what works best. And regardless, maybe if you even need to drop that med ball, that's okay. We're just getting that heart rate nice and high, finishing off strong because we know there's only one more round of our strength training before we earn that stretch out. So way to push it. Only about 15 more seconds here. We hold it high in 10, 9, 8, hold it high in 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it nice and high. Taking it back to that corner and chest pass. So heel to those feet underneath you. Keep that med ball with you. Med ball comes in the center, elbows nice and wide. Soft into those knees. Let's take that pass and press right here. It's pass it, draw it in, press, return it. Hitting those corners, sending that med ball nice and long. Keeping those wrists in line with that shoulder line here. So don't let it start drifting downward. Keep it nice and high. So we're frying those deltoids out one last time. Push through it with that breath. Only 10 more seconds. Here it's 10, 9, 8. Hold it in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold this last one in. Take it into that squat thruster. So step those feet out for me. Toes facing forward. Front racket so that those handles are on each side. Elbows are remaining nice and high. Holding that med ball just underneath the chin. Let's thrust it. It's lower. Thrust it. Lower. Thrust it. Lower. Thrust it. Keeping it nice high front rack so that when we're dropping down nice and low, the shoulders are staying nice and tall. We're not drifting forward and taking this into the back at all. Keeping it high so we can drop that seat nice and low. Squeeze the stand up, and electricity is shooting through those legs to fire that med ball right overhead. Challenging those abdominals once again. 10 more seconds here. It's 10, 9, 8. Let's hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold this last one low. Take those toes out even wider. Knees tracking in that same direction. Back into those plie squats. Arms long, palms facing in. Let's find that squat right here. It's squat, stand, raise, and lower. Squat, stand, raise, and lower. Can you get this round a little lower? Are those knees still in 90 degrees? Make sure it is. Arms are nice and long. As we drop it low, squeezing those booty cheeks all the way up to the top before you find that raise. Way to push it, ladies. Only about 20 more seconds here. And we take into that last round of those Frogger burpees. So meet me low in 10, 9, 8, hold it low in 5, 4, 3, 2, hold this last one low. Make sure that those toes are facing forward. Hinge that body into that 45-degree angle. Arms come nice and long, palms facing in. Let's find that burpee here. We row it in, lower, hop it back, hop it wide. Roll it up, lower, hop back, hop it wide. Keep it nice and low for me. So you're getting a nice seat squeeze that whole entire time as we keep that frogger position rolling. Row that med ball all the way into that belly button. Plant it back behind you. Draw it up. Send that plank nice and low, confirming that seat's coming below your shoulder line. Only about 15 more seconds and you earn that stretch out. Way to push it to the end, ladies. 10 more seconds. Here we hold it high. 10, 9, 8. Let's meet me high. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower that med ball down. Go ahead and roll it out of the way. We are officially done with strength and we get to stretch it on out. So let's start it off at one end of that mat. Take a big inhale up. Exhale, breathe it out. One more big inhale. And exhale, breathe it out. Go ahead and walk yourself out into your plank. Once we're here, we're going to drop down to those knees. Take those knees out nice and wide. Toes come together. Send your seat back. Taking a child's pose here. Really sending your arms forward so we get a nice chest stretch as well. Big inhale, big exhale. Let's go ahead and walk those arms all the way to that right side, just so we're adding in a little oblique stretch as we send it to the right. Right back through center. Send it nice and long for me. Inhale and exhale it out. Take it all the way to that left. Feel that right oblique stretch out. One more big breath here. Back through center. And then let's take it up into our tabletop position. Knees under hips, wrists directly underneath those shoulders. Let's cat-cow it here. Arch that back for me. Exhale, breathe it out. One more big inhale. Exhale, breathe it out. Right foot's gonna come between those hands. Send that left leg nice and long. Nice little runner's lunge to stretch out those legs a little bit. Big inhale, big exhale. Send that seat up to the sky. Hamstring rocker. Stretching out the back of that right hamstring. Toes are coming up here. Send your chest forward. Nice couple big breaths here. Inhale, exhale, breathe it out. Point through that toe. Let's take it through center. Drop your seat towards that right. So you get a little inner groin stretch here. One big breath. Inhale, exhale, breathe it out. Press it up through center. Just let yourself settle for just a breath or two. Maybe you want to ragdoll those arms. One more breath, and we're going to pivot all the way to that left-hand side. Plant your hands just outside that left foot. Send your right leg nice and long to get into that low runner's lunge. Stretching out your hip flexors and your quads here on that right side. Big inhale, big exhale. Send your seat up nice and tall for me. Finding that triangle position with those legs. If you want to draw those left toes up, keeping that flat back position. Hugging your core up and in here. Big inhale, big exhale. Then drop your toe, spin it back forward, and let's send your seat to that left-hand side. Really opening up through the right side of the groin, just for a couple big breaths. One more big inhale, exhale. Let's take it back through center. And this time, let those forearms drape as much as you possibly can. Let that neck just hang. Maybe you want to shift those hips slightly to the right, just to stretch it out a little bit more on that inside of the left here. Shift it slightly to the left here. Big inhale, big exhale. And heel toe your feet in just about 2 paces and roll yourself up nice and slow. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Roll those shoulders down. Let's open up through that chest. So clasp your hands back behind yourself here. Just send it forward, stretching open that chest. This should feel absolutely amazing after those 900 push-ups you guys rocked out. Big inhale, big exhale. Go ahead and release it. Let's finish it off with a nice wide plie. Toes come out, knees in that same position. Big inhale, take those arms up to the sky. Exhale, breathe it out. One more big inhale. And exhale. And day 2, rock out strength with me today. I know that was a tricky one, especially with all those push-ups, but you guys beasted it out. You did an awesome job. So thanks so much for joining me, and hope to see you again next week. Take care, guys. Bye.